Hello everyone, welcome to this video. This is an image story generator. And how does this work? Well, first I'm going to be using ShotStack. ShotStack is an application that allows you to create and render videos using JSON. This is perfect, especially if you want to use n8n. So it has an API, so you can create, you can manage, you can edit your videos, you can create AI generated content with it. Whatever you would like, you can do it inside of ShotStack. So how are we going to do this? Well, there is a disclaimer that I have to make. In order to create the audio, I made a pre-recording using 11 Labs. The reason why I did not use an API request to 11 Labs inside this workflow is because on the free plan, n8n does not work with 11 Labs, as the system detects it as like a bot or something, and it basically won't allow you to do it. It'll say like suspicious activity. So to get around that, I basically just created a script, fed it into 11 Labs, and then uploaded it into ShotStack. So from there, that gave us an MP3 URL, which I have as the trigger for this. So basically the audio is going to be the trigger for this. The rest, however, is completely automated. So without further ado, let's get started. How does this work? Well, for your image story generator, what you're going to want is to have different scenes. These are basically going to be the illustrations that the AI will generate. So here I just have 7 scenes, but you can have as many as you want. The thing is that you will have to just adjust it inside the generate video block over here. If you have more photos, you'll just need to add additional JSON over here. So what it does, it gets the prompts, basically how many scenes there are, and it goes through and loops over each one of them. So actually this edit fields, we don't need that. So it takes the prompt and it feeds it into OpenAI. Right now I'm just using DALL-E 3, but you can use whatever you would like for image generation. Then over here I just have a simple wait block, just so that way we're not spamming the API and we get rate limits. Then we have another node over here, which just basically takes the image generated and gets the URL of the image. Now, you do want to make sure that when you do that, you do have the OpenAI block, you make sure to have the respond with image URL toggled on. Otherwise, you will not be able to feed the image into the ShotStack API. So that's very important. So then it updates the URL inside of our Google Sheets. Then we have another Sheets node over here, which basically grabs all of those URLs, and we want to aggregate them all into a single array. So that's what I have this over here for. Then lastly, we have the HTTP request, which is basically used to generate the video. So I'll let you look at this for a quick second over here, but basically you have the endpoint. I basically created a credential with the header for the API key, so that way it doesn't get leaked. And then here is where all the magic happens. This is just basically the JSON structure we send over to ShotStack, and this is how it's going to render the video. So we have clips. These are basically going to be the images that we created from the OpenAI node. And you can see over here that we have the type, it's image, and we have the source, which is basically the URL, the start time, the length of the clip, and then you have like some transitions in and out, blah, 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 that kind of stuff. And then we have the soundtrack. This is the audio file. Now, in a typical automation, you would want to have the audio file generated inside the workflow, but due to technical issues I described earlier, I was not able to do that. So that is how the workflow works. Let's actually go ahead and start using this. So I'm just going to go ahead and click the execute workflow. Now this will take some time. Each image generation can take up to like 20 to 30 seconds. So it will take a couple of minutes. Then also for the video generation, that can also take up to a minute. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and skip to the video when all of this is all done. Alright, so our video is now rendering. I had a little issue where I forgot to change the request to post, so I just had to go ahead and just rerun the workflow once more. However, all of the images we can see, we have all of the URLs, so I'll actually go ahead and just show you them. So you can actually see over here, according to the prompt, we set up a young woman over here with light brown shoulder length wavy hair, wearing a cream sweater and sitting by a window, and just go ahead and describes the atmosphere. Let's go ahead and view a couple of the other ones. So you can see that they're all pretty different, right? Now, let's go ahead and actually take a look at the video. It's actually still rendering right now, but it should be done pretty soon. This can take up to a couple of minutes, depending on how long your video is. But you can actually see now that it's done. Let's go ahead and view our video.
Quiet evening, Mia sat by her window, watching the rain fall gently against the glass. She had always loved storms, not because of the thunder or the lightning, but because of the calm that followed. As the rain softened, she opened her notebook and began to write. Her words painted small adventures, stories of hidden forests, brave wanderers, and mysterious treasures waiting to be found. With every sentence, she felt the world outside fade, replaced by the one she was building on the page. Minutes slipped by unnoticed. The storm passed, leaving the air fresh and the sky tinged with gold. Mia smiled, knowing that while storms might come and go, her imagination could always carry her somewhere.
Alright, so that actually didn't do too bad of a job. So, apart from the minor interruption I had, you can see that we have completely automated process from gathering all the prompts to generating the images and combining all of those images into a single video, along with adding the audio here, and it generated a pretty decent video. Well, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions, please let me know if any in the comments, and I will see you in the next one.